But instead, we have Joe Biden, who comes off as kind of a distant observer of all of this, not the leader of the free world.
There's negotiations discussions, I should say, that have taken place that I have not been part of, including the Ukrainians, and it's their judgment to make.
Now, first he had to disappear from the campaign trail, remember, in 2020 because of COVID? Now he's vanishing from the world stage, taking a backseat to lesser powers in NATO. He's just waiting for his marching orders at this point. Meanwhile, he is previewing the wonderful future all of us Americans are going to have to look forward to under his watch.
We did talk about food shortages, and it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well. They're in the breadbasket of the world, Ukraine and Russia. But we, the United States, are going to do our part because we're the third largest producer of wheat in the world.
Now, an American president is supposed to reassure us. Biden just terrifies us. He depresses us. But just in case you haven't heard enough from him, he will have more tomorrow on the crisis. Of course, the same crisis that never would have occurred under President Trump. And you can bet that American taxpayers will be forced to foot the bill once again.
He will give a major address tomorrow that will speak to the stakes of this moment, the urgency of the challenge that lies ahead, what the conflict in Ukraine means for the world.
Wait, did he say means for the world? Now, Mr. I've met more foreign leaders than anyone alive hasn't had one foreign policy success under his belt. Well, unless you call his Afghanistan withdrawal a win for America. But we do know one thing. Under Biden's watch, China always ends up with the longer end of the stick. The CCP is laughing, learning, and plotting as Biden flails and flounders from one crisis to the next. Now, even when President Biden tries to be empathetic with all of the tragedy unfolding for the Ukrainian people, he somehow manages to botch it.
When you see a 30-year-old woman standing there in front of a tank with a rifle, I mean, talk about what happened in Tiananmen Square. That's Tiananmen Square squared.
Did he actually say that's Tiananmen Square squared? How profound. Now, why hasn't Biden released the transcript of that big call he had a few weeks ago with President Xi, by the way? Shouldn't the American people know what was said, what was perhaps negotiated away?
Let's go, Brandon! Hey.